G'day guys, Sky Pilot here, welcome to my channel. What do you reckon? I've got the Rekon. This is the HGLRC Rekon 5 long range contender to the long range lineup of quads you can get today. So what I'm going to do here today guys is go through what's in the box, go through some tech specs, weigh it in with a Lion, with a LiPo, go through Betaflight. This is the TBS Crossfire version. Hook it up to my radio and get ready to have a fly. So if you have bought this version or you are interested in it, the Rekon 5 Find and Fly has the Cadex Ratel. This is the 4S version. You can get this in a 6S version. Lots of different variants actually of the Rekon FPV, inspired by, as we all know, Dave C. Check him out, there's a link down below. Dave C had a fair bit to do with the Flywoo long range units as well, so this is going to be pretty cool. Let's crack her open and let's see what you guys get. I reckon it's going to be a beauty. Okay, so QC of HGLRC is always very good. So we have some nice padding here, and we got the unit itself, which we'll put aside just for a moment. Let's remove some padding. What's in the box? Okay, we got some tri-bladed props here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 sets of durable 3-blade 2mm. These are the SL5125 Hurricane, and they are both the same. We'll talk about those shortly. Some screws, I imagine, to mount your props on with. A pair of the same length Rekon FPV leather Velcro straps. We get a nice HGLRC right hand circular polarized SMA for our rear. Some more screws. A couple of arms. Now this is always a good thing to do if you do get extra arms with these units, is to fit them should you have the unfortunate experience of getting into a crash. Obviously there's a fair bit of length there. Maybe it is prone to cracking, but certainly these don't weigh much at all. In fact, let's have a look and see what they do weigh. Six grams, so yeah, about 3.1 grams each. So yeah, we'll be chucking those on just for that extra support in case we're in a crash. Finishing off, a naked GoPro mount. That's really good, they've included that. And apparently you can put a standard size GoPro on the front here as well. I've got a DJI Osmo Action, which I'm actually going to stick up the front here, and we'll see how that actually performs with that extra weight. A couple of stickers. Propeller direction, that's good, tells us which way our propellers are going to spin. Something about flying safe. And a piece of paper mapping out exactly who goes where, when and why, which is always pretty handy. Okay, put away the things that we don't need right now. Let's put it on the scales. Let's just attach our antenna. So certainly not under your 250 grams guys, with a 4S 850, 4 props, some screws, weighing in at 327 grams. Of course it's going to be a little bit heavier if you're going to run your Lion pack, your 18650 Lion long range pack, which I have as well. So I will be testing this unit with the 4S and the 4S Lion 18650 pack as well. Initial thoughts guys, this thing looks really nice. This is the 4S version. Nice looking long range motors here guys. These are the Zeus 2004 3000 kV brushless motors. A fairly nice TPU mount on the front. It's the Zeus F722 mini flight controller. So that's going to be able to cope with a 3 or 6S LiPo, or again your 18650 Lion long range pack. And for your analog, which is what this is, I'm happy to say it has got a super powerful 800 milliwatt VTX in the back here. So I'm going to do a really nice range test with this. It should be fairly decent. And I do like how the TBS Crossfire mount is actually designed to swivel around there and fly in a vertical position. That's really clever. Cadex Redtail 2 FPV camera up the front here. I think that's going to punch out some really nice analog pictures. And just bear in mind, it doesn't look like it, but if you just gently slide your finger over the top, it will allow you to remove the clear lens cover, which is quite new. Normally they're a black one, rubber, but this is yeah, quite hard plastic cover that slips over the front. Your standard long range buzzer at the back here, independently powered, so should you lose power in the event of a crash, failsafe, etc., this will beep by itself. So bear in mind you need to turn that off. I see they have modified the button, so it's actually on the side here, so you just push that button down for 3 seconds like so, and that will disarm the extremely loud beeping that it makes. Sort of your dead cat frame here. We'll see if the props get caught in that FPV vision, but it looks like a nice setup. It's got some really interesting sort of round plated attachments here. That's quite new. It looks very robust actually. Really nice design. It's unusual they've gone for the tri-blades. Normally with your long ranges the bi-blades are best for long range as they are most efficient. So I'm going to see if I can put some bi-blades on here instead of the tri-blades and do some testing and see actually what sort of difference that makes. So I think what Dave C and HGLRC are looking at marketing this unit for is a little bit of possibly freestyle, which would explain the tri-blade props, and possibly some long range too if you put on your own bi-blades, or we're actually going to see how far we fly with the tri-blades. It has a GPS of course on the rear, nice TPU mount. The whole thing's put together really well. It's got a nice battery pad that goes all the way from the front to the rear. I do like the mount at the front here, that's all incorporated together. It's really well thought out. I do really like the addition under here. They've put just a clear plastic plate on top of the VTX there, and they've mounted, not too sure if you can see that, they've mounted the Crossfire receiver onto that and nice neatly cable tied it down, so that's all been put together really well. XT60 plug, let's put those arm braces on and let's hook her up to Betaflight. Okay, strengthening arms on. Let's jump out of Betaflight, check out our radio settings and flight settings. This has been bound already, but I'll quickly show you what to do. Turn on the unit, turn on your radio, jump over to the back, and it's simply a process of long pressing the button here, and you will see your XF-TX light up. You push the button, select bind, it reaches 100%, and once it's finished it says OK, finished. Now before you leave here, depending on how your radio is set up, you may need to go down to the XF Nano RX, which is what you've just bound. That will light up now, so you'll see it in the options there. Select that, go to your channel map, it will load your channel map, and go down to, I always use channel 8, which is where I select my radio telemetry. So I select RSSI LQ or link quality, as that's what I use on my on-screen display. So TBS is really good because it enables you to keep an eye on your telemetry that way, and then just flick it over until you're back to the main menu, and that means you are good to go and well and truly bound. But before we can hit that motor arm, we need to go to Betaflight. So all you will need to attack on Betaflight, guys, is make sure you have the props on the right way, and our alarm's beeping because I've previously pulled the battery out. Okay, we'll just stop that, sorry. Okay, so make sure your props are on the correct orientation. Check out your props motor direction here, see which way things are spinning. Bear in mind, motor direction is reversed for some reason. Down here, I haven't actually selected or changed anything here. Crossfire, serial based, air mode on, telemetry, GPS obviously because we do have GPS, so that is good. And the GPS settings are U-blocks. This is all factory, guys. This is exactly how it came out of the box, so there's literally nothing to do there. Power and battery, I'm going to be running on here a Lion 18650. So I'm just going to change the warning cell voltage down to 3 because, as we all know, guys, the Lion packs can run slightly less than your LiPo. Failsafe, make sure stage 2 is selected, and make sure we have allow arming without fix turned off, otherwise you may run the mistake of arming this without a fix on, which will mean if you fail safe and wish to use your GPS rescue return to home, it's not going to work because you've armed it before the minimum satellites have been reached, which in my case is going to be 6. I find that 6 is certainly enough to get me out of trouble. Okay, receiver, we can see how our RSSI LQ has shot up. That's good, that means it's working. Channel map the same, RSSI channel is disabled obviously because we're using the TBS. We should just make sure all of our modes are working correctly. Arming, angle, horizon, GPS rescue,
return to home,
and we have a bit of a beeper in case the onboard external beeper doesn't work loud enough. Adjustments, all good, all good. GPS, it won't show anything because I'm indoors. Motor, on-screen display. It's actually pretty good from setup, guys, I'm happy to report. You may wish to do some tinkering around yourself, but I've got all my standard settings which seem to be here. Video transmitter, race 1, and of course this goes up to 800 milliwatts of VTX. So what I would probably do if I was you is stick on your display a core temperature gauge, otherwise you might end up cooking things. And finally, do yourself a favor and do yourself a bit of a dump and save your CLI to your computer should we have some troubles. I will have this on my Google Excel document should you wish to get a copy of my dump for your own Rekon. Let's have a look and see how this thing flies. Looks pretty nice, guys. The only thing you're going to need to look out for is this cool little setup here. Yeah, you need to make a little takeoff pad for it. You can fly it down here like that, but you're going to run the risk of the props hitting it. It's designed to slide up there. And also if you're doing a flying catch, just be careful that you don't bend it too much. I'm going to go to my favourite spot. I'm going to have a fly. Looks really nice, guys. This has got a really nice camera on it. 800mm VTX with my Lion pack that I'm going to put on. Should be a really good test, guys. Stay tuned. Smash that thumb, smash that bell. See you out in the field, Sky Pilot. Catch you later. Make yourself up a launch pad, otherwise you're going to bend that crossfire antenna